We'll do like a Terra Crew MCD giveaway. So if you guys comment below,
guess the number.
How many feet of welding is in the inside of this thing?
How many feet of welding?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, what's up guys? So this is an update episode, and this is my daughter Scarlett, and this is her first time seeing the truck. Pretty exciting. We tried to do it before at the Off-Road Expo, but it got a little wild. Off-Road Expo 2022. 21. Oh my God. The editor's gonna have a great time editing this.
We have the Bronco Factory.
We're here with Bronco Factory TV. It's
Yes.
after 5. This is the Bronco Factory channel. James Holguin, I think the Frontier is beautiful.
Can you do us a favor?
Yes.
So I'd like Mike to demonstrate what the child space looks like when you put an adult in it.
Dude. There's no way. It's not happening.
Hold on, no, this will work. Yes.
I think it fits.
There we go.
Ah! My first observation is it smells like WD-40 in here.
I tried to actually stay away from it as much as I could at the expo because I wanted Morgan to go over the details, so I purposefully stayed away from some of the work that he did on it. But we're gonna check it out now, and I'm pretty stoked to see it. Looks so complete. It's super surreal.
Ready, Scarlett, to see the truck? All right. What do you think? Does it look like the truck now?
Go sit in it, little one. Just so you get the big seat first, and then you can go back to the kids section in there.
You like it? Go ahead, hop in. You get in the driver's seat if you want.
It's comfy.
What's up, Morgan?
Hi. I think last time you were here, James, we did the lighting package.
Right.
And this thing is in full dress rehearsal for the Off-Road Expo. We bolted up as much stuff as made sense for Off-Road Expo.
One of the big takeaways we kind of got from the expo was that the truck is a lot like smaller than what people thought it was. I guess on camera and on video it looks really big. So, but when you guys are close to it, you guys can kind of see like how much bigger these tires look on this thing, you know, and it just looks pretty wild, man. I've never seen 40s on this before. I know we've kind of like messed around with it, but it's pretty crazy. So that was kind of something that we kind of seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of those.
Yeah, the scale.
Comments. Yeah.
Right, the
They
scale
were like,
looks...
whoa, it's so compact. Like it looks like skinny in the middle and like thick on the top and the bottom, like a little baddie, you know?
Whoa.
So,
Hey, yo.
There's no door bars. There's no real way to package door bars cleanly into this thing without it being super claustrophobic. So like this secondary A-pillar is what we added. You know, I think for safety reasons that needed to be there. It was definitely like a secondary thought, but you know, some of the stuff when I think about it more than 3 times, then it's indicating that I need to do something different about it.
okay.
And just for safety and thinking about how you're going to push the truck, I really feel like that area is like the crucial spot that always kind of bends down or fails or wants to collapse. So securing that and doubling up right there and just making the chassis more rigid in that area without doing like some big contraption of a door bar makes for easy getting in and out of this thing. We started, like Colin and I both kind of did a layout where we were going to run a straight there, and then we were going to have another guy from the belt line of the A-pillar go down, and like just the packaging was too wild to handle that stuff.
Too aggressive race truck.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you get in this thing, like it's so slim because your engine is right here and all the packaging that when you get in, it's so narrow that if you had like tubes, you know, it's also that you could bang your knees, but it's really just that feeling like of claustrophobicness that doesn't feel good. So when we did that, then that lends to the door panels, because last time we talked about putting the factory door panels in.
Right. So this is a big change.
Yes, and that's just strictly for functionality. So driver side, your door panel sticks out like it's got 3-dimensional, you know, like your armrest and your controls, they all stick out. Right. And even that amount of space is inches, where when that closes, like it's already into your zone. You call this like a door card. It's not really a door panel, it's just a card because it's literally just kind of a flat panel. It's not a 3-dimensional surface. This is just to break up the material. I mean, you could put a speaker in there, but it's really just to complement the looks. You know, we have like mesh on this area, and it just, instead of having just a void of aluminum, we just broke it up. Same with the rears.
Looks great, dude. I love that, man.
So it's the same, like it's just carrying some of this design. Like you can see, obviously the ribs down here are going to be kind of for traction, getting, you know, grip and in and out of this thing. And then this is just design carried in. Same with the bead rolls, just kind of carrying the bead rolls through and tying all the design together. When we did the secondary A-pillar, the dead pedal that was there needed to be modified. It's not a huge thing, but it's like just enough where you can rest, yeah, and like get what you need to get going here. I also think too that maybe we want to have like a heel hook, something for like even your gas pedal where when your foot's there, it's not just relying on the gas pedal, it's got something to pivot on. We also talked about putting a handbrake in here. So that's what this guy is. You want to sit in this thing?
Love it, dude.
I want to show like the ergonomics of how it functions when you sit there.
So as we got to the expo, like it all felt like surreal, kind of like seeing little pictures here and there. But when Morgan like pulled me to the booth, obviously it's running on the Fred Flintstone's motor right now. There's no motor in there, but just pulling it and sitting there just felt so comfortable. I don't know how to explain it. It really felt like perfect. It was really cool. I actually have footage of that. We can cut to that.
We had a really nice shifter mount here already, and it was a kind of a challenge to figure out how I can build a structure here that ties into the shifter mount without compromising the design and the flow. And it took a couple, you know, James and I are relatively the same size, so I can sit in there and get a pretty good bearing on what's gonna work as far as like the ergonomics. And so even like when you pull this, that you're not crashing your elbow down into the seat. It's right at that right angle. And then obviously like the cutoff, you want to keep somewhere where you can reach it with your harnesses. Yeah. And where, you know, your co-driver can reach it too, just in case.
Another thing, just sitting here in the driver's seat, my hood before wasn't this smooth across. This is like a little more low key of a hood, even though it looks really aggressive. There's just so much visibility than what I thought it was going to be before. So I'm really excited about that, man. This fits so damn comfortable, and like I just feel like it's ready for business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So also too, the columns been reinforced, so we cut the old column mount off and this has been reinforced, and this just kind of carries the same design over. It's all 065 or 063 chromoly plate. Same with that stuff.
Excellent, man.
And then we got visors up here, spring-loaded visors.
Yes, sir.
Just very functional, to the point.
Excellent.
This, the passenger dead pedal has also been modified, so I actually remade that one just because where we cut it off to trim it for the secondary, it was just crashing into the hole, so that's a new unit. But
oh, okay.
I think that these things, and I've mentioned it before, I think that they're absolute necessity for off-road vehicles and just not bouncing your feet around. Every time I ride passenger in something, I'm constantly, if it doesn't have a dead pedal, then I'm constantly like either bouncing my feet around or, you know,
because
put your hands in your lap.
You want to, you want a thing to kind of press you in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is beyond comfortable, dude. I can't, you know, I don't deserve this, man.
Rude.
This is just, well, you know, this is just very awesome and very grateful, man. This is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to see like how people were so pumped, it was crazy to me. It was very humbling. It was very cool to see people remembering this like freaking 15 years ago, dude. Like, oh, I rode in this with you in Ocotillo. You took me for a ride, and I'm like, really? You know, and or I rode with you in Glamis with this, or Barstow. You like made sure everybody was kind of giving rides, and like hearing those stories about how people remembered that was really, really cool. And I think that was probably the most exciting thing. But just to see that people in multiple generations were excited about this thing really blew me away. Being away from COVID for a year and not being able to see people and seeing the progress and the impact that this truck and all a Terra crew has had on people was extremely humbling, and I'm just so grateful. I'm freaking so grateful for everybody even watching this right now. I freaking love you guys. And bizarre, I even just feel like so douchey saying I love you guys, but I truly mean that, man. It's so awesome, and it was great. It was really cool. All right, I'm gonna go cry now.
Sure. So another thing too, all this stuff is welded. I don't know where we were at last time with all the welding in the cab with the sheet metal, but you can see like everything's done. It's a lot. I saved every single TIG rod that we used on the inside of silicone bronze. I thought maybe we could do like a raffle or something, or give stuff away.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do it at the Off-Road Expo.
But no, we're doing it for this episode.
Yeah, we'll do it for this episode.
So we'll do like a Terra Crew MCD giveaway. So if you guys comment below how many...
Guess the number.
How many feet of welding is in the inside of this thing?
How many feet of welding?
Yes.
Okay.
Each rod is 3 feet.
Okay.
So I saved all the ends, and we'll just kind of, you know, factor in. There's a couple inches on some and 1 inch on some, and we'll factor a rough. But you know, I'm gonna just every rod I have, I'm gonna go 3 feet with that thing. So what's your guess?
Dude, I don't know.
We should guess right now. Just to
I have
guess.
no, dude. I have no idea, man. I'm
278.
278.
278. Colin, send it right now. What you got?
169. 169. That's what Colin's guess is. All right.
I'm guessing like 350.
Okay. There
So-
we go. That's it.
Let's see, guys. You guys let us know.
Back on the interior before we get out of here. Colin's had a large part in making these skins. I obviously did like the bead roll and the layout, but since I've taken on, well, this is Colin, you guys. Colin's made like a valiant effort to come up here and work under the MCD1 roof, and this has kind of been his rite of passage. The light bar was the first thing that he built and constructed, obviously under my design, but that was like the test. Colin wanted to be up here pretty bad, and he reached out to me and said, just give me a week. Let me just have a week, and if it works, it works. And that's what we did, and that light bar, that was his first test. And it's pretty impressive, and he's been awesome. The skins are the same thing, kind of just give direction and you know, let the execution happen on the project. But anyways, the door panels are in. I mean, all the factory switches and stuff, everything
So
works.
awesome.
And I think that that's better than running your factory stuff because it looks like the rest of the truck. Like it's not.
It's the theme.
Yeah,
dude.
it's
Yeah.
kind of it complements the interior nicely.
Yeah.
The back seats are in. Like I was kind of doing jokes at Off-Road Expo about like trying to fit really large dudes in there.
Yeah.
And there was some really surprising fitment in there.
Yeah.
But these are just for the
So
kids.
Originally this was going to be a 3-seater, just like 2-seater, right? And then third seat was just kind of for fun. And then if I was going to race it, you know, maybe not have that 3-seater. But our Shay and I just kept having kids, and
Dun dun dun.
you know what? We kind of figured we kind of try to get as much space out of there, as many seats as possible. So that's where we're running the 4. So I'm about 6 foot, and this is where we're at. So, you know, it's pretty tight, obviously. But again, like, I think if anybody's under like, you know, maybe like 5'7".
5, 6, or 7. Regardless, it's primarily for the kids. We put everything in here, so like we already covered a lot of the stuff, you guys. Like obviously the PCI pumper. This is just for driver and co-driver if you're going racing. And then obviously all the PCI headsets are just hanging out just to kind of be at the expo. But you can see like all the silicone bronze is done on this stuff. It's pretty extensive as far as all the welding. So that pretty much covers our interior. I have the Safecraft in there just with one band. Everything's just kind of a mock-up, like I said, a dress rehearsal for the Off-Road Expo.
What's next expected for the inside of this, Morgan?
What I'm thinking is just to leave the passenger and the driver side open and just kind of air it out. When the brakes go in, we'll do like exposed hard line, kind of like aviation, airplane style, where all the stuff will just have hard lines, like really nice and tidy.
And we got Colin for that.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is the aircraft master. right here.
Absolutely, and he's a safety wire master. So
Perfect.
we're gonna go hardcore on that stuff. We'll put the dash right in the middle here. I think in between the intrusion bars that we can just do a pod, and it's so small in here that every occupant can see it from the middle here. Just one aluminum pod for that. Like I said, I want to have an analog fuel gauge that can just be somewhere not a focal point. And then, I don't know if you guys remember, but like episodes back, James was like, it'd be cool if you had like a doot up there. So we'll put the Switch Pros. We have a 12-button Switch Pro, and I'll put that right up there in its own little pod. And then we'll have the display here. It'll be very symmetrical and accessible for not just the driver, but the passenger. So I think that'll pretty much close out our whole interior portion.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that first part of the episode. We got more stuff to cover in the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very RC car-like.
Can I just comment how amazing like these 240 stacked like this looks, man?
Everything's cleaned up. Everything's where it's supposed to go. We're waiting for that motor to go in.